Hello, everyone, and welcome to twitch.tv/The Onyx Path. Also, in theory, being simulcast over at BackerKit. The reason for the season, our gathering today is to celebrate the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide BackerKit. That is currently, we got, as you can see in the little counter that is below my face, we have about 50 hours left, and we are, at last check, looks like less than $500 from unlocking the next stretch goal, which is a series of VTG tokens. So I would highly recommend, if you've not yet done so, head over there and check that out. Before we delve into today's, I guess it's tonight, depending on where you're at in the world, our story, let's have everyone go ahead and tell us who you are, what you do, who you're playing, your pronouns, their pronouns, and anything you would like to promote. And let's kick it off this time with Bunny. Please give us your pertinence.
Sure. I think it is pertinent that you're aware that I'm a bunny. It's great. My name is Millie and/or Bunny Hearted. I'm a cozy, comfy, trans, and vaguely retro-styled bunny VTuber with a slime on my head. And I'm a really, really big fan of tabletop gaming, like improv, RPGs, that sort of thing. You can often find me over on Dork Tales as well as here, or at twitch.tv/Bunny Hearted. Today I'm playing Barbara Babs Butcher, who's a dashing disaster pilot from the far-off, distant future year of 1996. 36.
1936.
Well, don't worry about it.
Really
1990, 36. It's very
far in the future.
Very far.
Don't worry about it. It's space. We're cool.
Excellent. And did you have anything that you wanted to share aside from just your Twitch, which we got out there, correct?
I don't know, for chancels. I mean, I will be making a cool appearance on a cool convention that another person in this panel might be talking about that's happening next weekend, as well as perchance cool conventions happening on this channel in a couple of weeks. We shall see. No exciting charity events for me in the next couple of weeks to promote, but I think there will be some of those coming up soon too.
Excellent. Beautiful. Now if I can get the chat commands to work, I'll be sharing your links. I'm just having a bad appliance day, as we say here in the Midwest. But while I'm sorting out those bad appliances, let's move the party along over to Bianca. Your pertinence, please.
Yeah, hello, my name is Bianca. I work on digital games during the day and dabble with tabletops sometimes during the night. It is 6:00 here, p.m. So my pronouns are she, and I'm playing Aurora. Her pronouns are she, her as well. As for plugins, well, I could talk about horse games, but for the sake of relevancy, I think I want to just mention that there might be a convention for Onyx Path sometime in the summer.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, Travis, if you could get the links to work or not.
It's coming up June 16th to 18th, I believe, are the dates that have been announced for Onyx PathCon. So
You are correct.
Exciting times. Yeah, they're going to have a lot of fun stuff, and hopefully we'll be seeing the glorious faces of the wonderful folk that are here on the screen, in addition to several other folk, as we play games and delve into new announcements and all sorts of fun things will be happening at that convention. So please make sure that you mark your calendars. That brings us next over to Kelly. Please give us your pertinent details.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kelly Clark. I'm a writer, performer, and the host over at twitch.tv/dorktales or youtube.com/dorktales, where we play a variety of games ranging from Onyx Path products to things like little game called Dungeons and Dragons, and tons more stuff. This weekend, we have a special, the third year, actually, of our Dork Tales Expo, an in-house online convention that delves into, I believe we have 22 different panels this weekend as a fundraiser for the channel. So please come and watch them at twitch.tv/dorktales /dorktales, starting this Friday around 4:30 p.m. Pacific, where we explore things like why we love the world of darkness, how to deal with, having fun in role-playing games, how to be a better dungeon master or game master, and exploring things like gender, sex, consent in role-playing games, and other great topics like that. It'd be wonderful to have you, and I'm looking forward to playing Dr. Tom today. Both he and I use he and him pronouns, but his require a lot more coffee to function than mine do.
Beautiful. And yeah, definitely head over if you've not yet done so. Shoot a follow over to Dorktales and check out that convention. Promises to be a good time this weekend.
Well, and you're going to be there for some of it.
I will be there for some of that. I know that there are things that we will be talking about. It escapes me exactly what, but I'm sure I will come up with something brilliant to say. And if not, all the attendees can just pretend that I did. It'll be a fun time.
And I just sent you that invite, so you won't forget.
Much appreciated, because it's all just Swiss cheese up here. And last but not least, speaking of brilliant, that brings us to Danielle. Please give us all of your pertinent details.
Hi, I'm Danielle Lozon, and I am the developer for the Trinity Continuum Player's Guide, one of the developers. We also have John Sneed, who did some of the development on this book. I am a developer and designer and writer of tabletop RPGs. I'm an in-house developer for Onyx Path Publishing, and I am a dorky nerd. I will not be at the Dorktales thing this weekend, but I will be at Onyx PathCon in the summer. And I am playing Rebecca Smythe, who is a con artist who is pulled from present day and is a little skeptical of what is going on, but very on board with stealing something from supposed bad guys.
Excellent. And we shall dive right into that. But before we do, I guess that does leave me. I'm Travis, he, they. When I'm not running games, I'm writing them. Before we dive in, as it is with the beginning of any session of Trinity Continuum, you have the opportunity to do tweaks. So if you would like to move one dot from an attribute to another attribute, one dot from a skill to another skill, or change a aspiration, or say, for example, select an aspiration if you have not yet done so, as we overlooked those last week, my bad. Now would be the perfect time to do so. Dee, have you had a chance to think over Rebecca's aspirations? Have you made any decisions in that regard?
Yes. So my first, these are short-term aspirations, because I assume our long-term aspiration is to, I'm just going to make it, accomplish our mission.
Sure.
So my short-term aspirations are steal something weird.
Excellent.
And
Nice.
meet someone cool.
Excellent. And do you have any tweaks that you would like to make or experience expends?
No, I do not.
Excellent. All right. That will bring us then in order of the reverse order of the way we did our intros. Kelly, how about for Dr. Tom? Any aspirations, tweaks, experience?
Oh boy. I'm going to take I have two aspirations lined up right now. One is have to improvise with violence.
Excellent.
Okay. And then steal something, steal food or drink from the enemy.
Excellent.
Basically raid a locker is his thing. I have like all of my XP to spend, so I'm actually going to raise one of my facets, I
Excellent.
should say. I'm going to buy a point of close combat so that I'm a little holding up a little bit stronger, and I'm going to buy 3 gifts if that works for you.
Sure.
I'm going to buy Just a Scratch,
Okay.
Button Masher,
Excellent.
and Savior of the Multiverse.
I love it.
Because these are just so Flash Gordon that it hurts, and I love it.
If you could, please go ahead and break down just in brief what those gifts do.
Absolutely. So these are brand new ones from the playtest document, and I think everyone's going to have a lot of fun with them. Let me just pull them up real quick. So, Just Scratch is very much like it sounds. There we go. So it's a luck, requires stamina 2, and then what it does is any indirect source of damage capable of getting the critical stunt against me, I can spend an inspiration and force it to not inflict more than 1 injury on me. Against
Nice.
indirect damage, including injuries taken, basically just lowers complications and damage. It's like, wow, how did you walk away from that with both legs? Okay.
Nice.
Button Masher is my new favorite thing in this game, I think, because it's just perfect. And it's another luck one. Your character can use any super science device once. Spend an inspiration to activate it just by going no! and hoping for the best. And then Savior of the Multiverse is actually one of the coolest things that I've seen in Trinity. So I don't know who wrote that, but please give them a pat on the back.
Not to be
On
modest,
Earth,
but
is that you? I'm not sucking up to the story guide or
if
anything.
the Flash Gordon reference in the title wasn't a big enough clue.
Yeah, that's fair. So on Earth, he was anything but unremarkable. His life was filled with improbabilities, lucky breaks, and hidden blessings beyond the average person. His existence was nothing short of heroic, but down in the infinite realms, he's positively superhuman. So when traveling under the power of Flux, your potential increases dramatically. Through Quirk of Flux, the talent gains +1 to power and durability if they have dots in their destructive facet, which I have 3 dots of.
Nice.
So for some reason on other realms, he's nigh indestructible, which is so dumb. I love it. It's the best kind of dumb.
Yeah, you're like extra awesome if you're not on Earth if you're not in your own native Earth, effectively.
It's so good. It also does other stuff if you have other facets, but for this just means that he's got superhero abilities.
Nice. I love it. And that is scale that provides in those fields. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's pretty dope. Sweet. Any other expenditures, notes, changes, things that we wanted to talk about for Dr. Tom before we move along?
No, I think that covers it. He's got a lot going on right now.
Roll. Good. Well, it's all going to come in handy, and I will make you use every last bit of that. I promise.
Perfect. I have 1 experience point remaining, so we're good to go.
Next up for Bianca, any changes to Aurora that we would like to make in terms of aspirations, in terms of experience expenditures or tweaks?
So nothing yet. I'm kind of saving up the experience points and seeing where we go on in the story. What I should use that little pool of. As for my aspirations, I have seize opportunities to catch up within quotation marks, and then it's like learn more about. I have written down Rory, but it's Ro. Wants to learn more about her multiverse self. She's very curious. And then long-term aspiration, I have written become famous in caps.
Beautiful.
So.
I love it. And no tweaks or changes to skills or attributes this time?
No,
Beautiful.
nothing yet.
Excellent. And I guess brings us around to the brilliant and beautiful Bombardier Babs. Do you
Goodness. So fancy.
Do you have any tweaks, experience expenditures, or aspiration?
So no tweaks or expenditures at this time, but I did fill in some new aspirations. Carry someone dramatically out of a harmful situation has continued to be there since the last game because she's just determined to scoop someone dramatically. She's also got blast one of these Shannon you colonize and space fascist nerds. And then to return to her world to get a beer with Sula for long term.
Excellent. Beautiful. And I think Sulu would appreciate that. Excellent. As we all know, I'm terrible at typing and talking at the same time, so I just want to make sure that I don't miss anyone's aspirations. So I'm typing them out like a good story guide. All right. So now that all of those T's have been dotted and I's have been crossed, let's dive into our tale. When last we met, we had wrapped up with you all sort of doing the planning stage of the heist to get into the cube in Chicago, where you're going to make your way into the sub-basement, access the server room, destroy or abscond with this trans-dimensional device that allows them to access multiple servers throughout the multiverse, and then hopefully escape hides intact. Ro has provided you a stolen vessel that has an old code, but it checks out, that you can theoretically use to fly your way into the cube in Chicago. And that is where we will begin, unless anyone has any preparations they would like to make before you hop on board. I would also like to remind you that you have 4 momentum in the pool.
How many planning points did we wind up with at the end of last session?
So the way I've got them broken out right now is that the plan points are currently set up per scene. If you want, we can also pool them and pull them from the scene specifically, so they're just a pool you can access whenever. I don't believe that flies too far in the face of the rules.
Well, I mean, that's how the rules work. They're not by scene normally.
Excellent. Okay, beautiful. So there's a total of 3 plan points that were generated.
Okay, cool.
And so those work as kind of a pool of additional momentum that you can tap into. Correct?
Inspiration for dramatic editing.
Right. Inspiration for dramatic, and we do have the optional rule in place where you can spend momentum for dramatic edits. But if you kick off a skill trick, you need to use inspiration to do so. So yeah, beautiful. And I've got your 3 plan points noted in the chat as well.
What? The chat? I got to be looking at that?
Secret Zoom chat.
Dang it.
Done.
Gotta is a strong term. It's often the last place I look for things too. So, but it is there for our references. So to that end, you are all hopping in the vehicle and making your way from the sort of remote base that Ro has established to Chicago. Now, Babs, do you have a specific gift that lets you fly pretty much anything, or are you just relying on your piloting skill?
I have a what's it called? The skill specialty things. I can figure it out, so I can spend a momentum just to pilot whatever it is for a scene.
Excellent. Does anyone have any objection to that expenditure of momentum? Beautiful.
I'm down.
Excellent. That brings our momentum pool down to 3. And I will allow you to go ahead and make a piloting roll anyway, which you will then be able to kind of draw on down the road if you want to make just a quiet little note of the successes that you gain while piloting underneath the effects of that skill trick, so that way
Okay, I have 3. I will mark that in the chat.
excellent. And let me rewind half a second. I can figure it out as a skill trick.
I think it's a skill trick, yes.
Yep. In that case, I apologize. You will not be spending momentum for it. You'll just need to spend 1 inspiration. So your momentum pool is still at 4.
Okay, cool.
Are we spending inspiration for skill tricks?
Yeah. Yes. So momentum for dramatic editing, inspiration to activate skill trick.
Oh.
I am a confused bunny.
Is that the optional rule you were talking about? I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
missed that.
Yep. That's the one that's
okay.
It's in, I believe, the Chapter 5 materials that were released today. So my apologies for any confusion.
Sorry.
No problem. So yeah, you're still at 4 momentum. You spend the inspiration, you got the 3 successes. So you can tap into those effectively. What we'll do is, if any complications should arise from piloting this vehicle or a vehicle using similar technology in a subsequent scene, I'll let you expend those successes to overcome those complications. Sound fair?
Sounds good.
And that's just me
sounds good to me.
making stuff up on the fly.
I mean, I think it makes
sometimes-
sense though, because bullshit figuring it out doesn't mechanically give you an advantage on learning how to pilot it, but it feels like it probably would.
I remember what this button does.
Yeah, last time I pressed it, the wings fell off. I know not to press it next time.
Excellent.
I am curious what this vehicle looks like.
So if you would imagine like a very similar in design to a stealth bomber, but with a silver, virtually seamless hull. As you approach it to get inside, the underside, rather than having like a traditional ramp that drops down, it almost flows downward into floating steps made of like a liquid metal. Very Flight of the Navigator, if you're old enough to know what that movie is. As you step up into the passenger compartment, the cockpit seats 2. There is no door or separation between the cockpit and the passenger compartment. Passenger compartment comfortably would seat probably 6 people, and there's also some room for additional equipment in there. Your flight to Chicago from where you're leaving at is probably about an hour in the air, which you may certainly spend that time, if you have any interactions that you want to handle. Otherwise, we can fast forward to your arrival.
I just want to ask about this aircraft. How future tech does it seem to me?
It definitely seems beyond the purview of what you are accustomed to. It definitely looks like it's well advanced, probably. I mean, the stairway aspect of it is like mind-boggling.
Sure.
The rest of it, looking around, looks like if you had to hazard a guess, you'd say 10 to 20 years ahead of anything you've ever seen before.
Okay.
Any other questions about the vehicle or business that you want to conduct before
I
you
think
make
Babs'
your way to
reaction is
the...
going to be to whack it and call it a good girl once it starts flying and go, it's neat. But that's about it.
Excellent.
I mean, she shot a pistol at a mechanical spider last week that was the size of a large building. This is chill.
That is fair. The flight's relatively uneventful, and as you get closer to Chicago proper, looking out, there's a frontal viewport. Seems to be that it's made of some material that, while from the outside looks like a seamless portion of the metal, you can definitely see clearly from the inside. Maybe like almost like a one of those specialized mirrors. But there are also some viewports, like screens that you can look at various views of the outside of the vehicle from. And you can see the Chicago skyline looks very different. There's almost a hodgepodge of architecture, as if some of the buildings have been either stolen entirely or built with a different type of technology that would come from like a parallel universe, different building materials, wildly different architectural norms. It makes for quite a sight, but the center of the loop is highly dominated by this giant box. The box itself is of a similar sort of smooth metallic sheen as the outside of the vehicle. You can, now that you're in the city, see several air vehicles moving around, not only vehicles of a similar design to yours, but also what appear to be, you see a couple people with jetpacks, you see a couple of like small like personal helicopters. Seems like there's a lot of air traffic going on. And as you come within probably 1,500 feet of the cube, the ship is hailed. You get a little beep on your console that indicates that there's a communication coming in.
Well, someone better with words should probably handle this.
Anyone volunteering?
It would be better if I wasn't muted.
Excellent. Sorry, sometimes I'm not. I didn't see that you were talking and not in.
No, that's fine. I realized it after I said something and nobody responded. So I was like, oh, I'm muted. Trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Aurora, do you want to handle this or do you want me to?
What are you gonna ask? Because because I don't really know. It's like I can be very good at pretending like I really need help, if that is what we want. But if they want like authority, that's not me. Yet I will become famous.
So
I mean,
So
I can just say that the commander is in the bathroom and buy us a minute.
I can handle it.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Hi, this is the pilot. I'm just patching you through right now.
Thank you. Unidentified craft, please state your registry number and destination.
I am going to try to bullshit a registry number that I think might work for an aircraft.
Sure. You look around and do see like a couple of numbers on the dash. May or may not be what you're looking for.
Sure. And then also, what is the name of the building that we're actually going to?
So you're actually going into the cube.
Okay. But do we want to say that? I guess we could just say that. Like,
right. If correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the plan was to try to land in the cube's hangar and then make your way to the server room from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it just, we belong here. So yeah, this is where we're going.
Excellent.
I'm going to try to make that persuasive.
All right. So go ahead and give me persuasion. What attribute would you like to lean on for that?
Manipulation, I think, because I'm trying to manipulate these people into believing that I'm the right person to be telling them this stuff.
Wonderful. And do you have any gifts, skill tricks, or anything that you would care to lean on?
Let me see. I am a skilled liar.
Excellent. So that will...
So that I think that gives me, let me double check, but I think that gives me an enhancement
I believe
to this.
I believe that is accurate.
These rules I wrote so long ago. What does it do?
Right. As Dr. Henry Jones Sr. said, I wrote them down so I wouldn't have to remember. It's 2
Right.
enhancement.
Two enhancement.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And you do suffer a complication of 1 to this roll, based on the sort of setting up the milestone rolls that we did last session. If that complication is unresolved, you will increase the heat of the situation.
Okay. So I have 8 dice on this. Let me roll. Oh, okay. I'm glad I got a 10. Because that, let me re-roll that die. Okay. Well, that wasn't a success. So I got 2 from my roll and then 2 enhancements. So I have 4 successes.
Excellent. That is sufficient to overcome the difficulty of the roll, but as we discussed earlier, the last session, security rating of this building is a 4, so that does not overcome the complication. Would you like to spend any momentum for re-rolling failed dice?
Hold on one second. I have a. Okay, no, that's ignoring attitude. I was like, I have a gift, but it's not the one I wanted it to be. Doesn't do what I want it to. So what do y'all feel like about re-rolling a die or some dice? It's like 1 for 1 on momentum, right?
Correct. Another option that you would have is if you wanted to employ some dramatic editing to ensure that you had previously looked through like the manuals on your flight there to find the actual registry number of the plane. I might allow that as well.
Remind me, because I don't have it open in front of me.
Sure.
Which I can do, but remind me what the heat level does if the heat goes up.
So heat effectively is an indication of how aware they are of your presence. Anytime that the heat increases, a new complication of some kind is introduced.
Okay.
And then heat can also be reduced by taking actions later in order to throw them off your trail, effectively.
Let's let the heat rise.
Okay, excellent. I love it. They say you are cleared for landing, Silverhawk. Please come within 500 feet of the northwest corner and relinquish control to tractor beam.
Pilot.
So apparently muted. Sounds good.
Excellent. You pull up to
How out the way from the microphone. How do I relinquish control to a tractor beam?
Rose says.
You got a tractor beam?
Tractor.
Rose says all you need to do is go ahead and once you're in position, you'll feel a little tug on the ship and stop trying to fly. That would be
Right. Sounds good.
And sure enough, as soon as you get to the designated coordinates, you all feel a bit of a shunt as some invisible force is now pulling you into the docking bay hangars.
Sounds like we've been successfully beamed by a tractor over.
This is some real Star Wars shit.
Security says over the comms. We'll take it from here. Thank you so much. Enjoy your stay in the cube. And
Thank you so much.
you are pulled through these docking bay doors into a hangar and guided effectively into a landing space. You can see as you're coming through the actual device. It looks like almost like a retro future death ray, like you might imagine from an old serial. It's got like a seat on it with a pair of handles that's guided by, and you clearly can see a security personnel wearing what appears to be some sort of like a military uniform in black and gray. like steering it and depositing you into the space.
Here we go.
Rose says, "All right."
Starting to worry I'm not going to fit in here.
Ro looks around, pops open one of the
I mean, I can throw on a coat.
cargo containers,
Dramatic coat.
and there are uniforms in there. If you want to make a quick change before you hop off.
I think we all
I
should.
think that would be wise.
Excellent.
I mean, I guess. How do they look? Do they look good?
They look sleekly designed. I mean, they look like they were designed by
Hugo Boss.
fascists. Yeah, they're
Fashionists.
literal fashion Nazis. They're kind of wide-shouldered gray top that tapers down to a belted waist, and then black pants that have kind of those the poofy thigh pouches that I can't think of the proper name of, and then taper down into tight lower legs. There's also a hat with them. As you're getting dressed, I guess one last important thing to establish is Aurora currently dormed down or not?
She is.
Excellent.
In an attempt to blend in, she has yes, unfortunately, she is not as fabulous as can be, but she is trying to, make good on the uniform, just kind of going to Rome, going, hey, do you think this would still be up to code? I just want to make sure that if I can have the belt here, it would accentuate my figure a bit more, and I feel like that would be what I would do if I would be working here. So technically that could be realistic, right? But I don't know if they super harsh and such with the press codes. So I don't know. Oh, hello, Kitty.
She says,
Sorry if I woke you up.
she says, listen, kid, this ain't that kind of heist. If they're looking at your belt, we got bigger problems.
Kids. Okay. Something's wrong with this outfit if I look like a child, right? Because I thought at least my figure would, be somewhat.
She
Right.
grabs at the belt. As long as you don't slap her hands away, she is going to grab the belt and pull, almost in like tightening a corset kind of pull on that belt. And just says, "Is that better?"
Yeah, I think so. What do you think? In a pose?
You look glorious. And she starts walking off, turns on the off ramp, and you notice as she's leading the way down, she sort of tightens her own belt a little bit as well.
You want me to do what you did for me? I can tighten it too.
She just kind of shakes her head no as you step out into the open hangar. Now, none of the guard that are present seem to be paying any direct attention to you. However, you hear over the intercom, attention all personnel, due to routine security checks, the elevators have been placed into secure mode. Please act accordingly.
What does that even mean? Act accordingly.
Yeah, act accordingly. Like what?
Don't we just got to take stairs? Elevators ain't safe anyways.
Rose says, well, we have 40 flights of stairs to go down and then 6 sub-basements to try to access if we go that route. Secure mode here means that the elevators will require a retinal scan in order to program in a destination floor.
Oh, I bet we could bypass that.
Probably, I would assume so. I hope
Can
so.
we steal someone's eyeballs?
That is
Perfectly attached to a face.
That was not my idea.
Not like I just mean like take someone's face and like stick it against the thing.
that doesn't sound any better.
But the face, it's attached to the body.
The whole
It's
head.
not that bad.
Just rip their face off. That's what it
That's
sounded
worse.
like. But I think we can just bypass the scanner without an eye.
It's worth a shot. Ro walks over and hits the call button for the elevator. It just takes a few seconds for the elevator to arrive. Doors open. Relatively sizable box that you're able to step into. More than enough room for all of you to be comfortable and for you to have some room to work. You also can clearly see that there is a escape hatch on the roof of the elevator, but it does look like it's secured in place with like bolts. So as soon as the doors close, you hear a computerized voice. Please enter retinal access code.
Did you guys bring eyes?
Which Dr. Hodgett, aren't you a like technophile? Can't you?
A tech? Like
A what?
Yeah, okay, sure.
Do they do that in the world? Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna look at this retinal scanner. Yeah, okay. How about, and I would like to spend a point of inspiration, and can I use button masher and just hit it like really hard?
Absolutely, I will allow it. Perfect.
I was hoping that was going to happen.
You pop the elevator and it says, access granted. Please select which floor you would like to go to.
See?
I'm a genius. What floor are we going to?
Sub-basement 6.
Sub-basement 6. My favorite basement.
Excellent. You start moving downward. It is a
I can't believe
relatively
that worked.
lengthy ride down the elevator. You have several floors to go down.
I have a incredibly important setting related question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
What, if any, music does the fascist elevator play?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Their music is
Well, first of all, it's Muzak.
right. Yeah,
We're not off to a good start
yeah.
already.
It's not actual like radio play. It's like the music version of if you didn't know better, you would say it's the music version of Rick Astley.
Perfect.
I will always give you up. I will always let you down.
It's eerie listening music.
Eerie.
Wow, I think romance is dead if he's just willing to give you up that easily, right?
I will give you up if the party demands. No one is above the what are these guys called? The
Terran multiplicity.
no one's above the Terran multiplicity.
After a several minute long elevator ride, it becomes abundantly clear to you just how far you are now from your primary escape vehicle.
They're really stretching this chorus out.
The doors open about midway down. It switches from Rick Astley to David Hasselhoff music. It's not an improvement.
I'm not looking for freedom.
And you eventually hit the sub-basement. The doors open. As they do, you can see hallway leads down Far end of the hallway, a clearly marked door for the server room. There are a couple of other branching hallways, and you do see a security guard sitting at a desk, effectively. They appear to be looking at some sort of hand tablet, and they just look up as you arrive. Say, "Can I help you?"
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of step in like I know what I'm doing and be like, we're here to fix the server number, spout out a number, that's been having heating issues or cooling issues.
Oh, okay. What would you like to lean on for this deception?
I think maybe, let me look. I mean, I think either command that, like I'm trying to kind of convince these people that I belong here doing what I'm doing, or larceny with the kind of like bait and switch. Either one works, I think.
Excellent. Yeah, let's go with the larceny because
Okay.
it seems to be a bit of a specialty for you. And what attribute do you want to lean on?
Let's do presence because I'm kind of setting up myself as a presenting figure. And I would like to add my persuasion specialty because I'm using larceny of fast talking.
Excellent. That will absolutely apply. So that'll give you an enhancement of 1. You'll also have an enhancement of 2 from Skilled Liar.
All right.
And your difficulty on this roll is 3. So basically, don't
Don't
dodge.
beef it. All right. Let me make sure I know how many dice that is. Hold on. 4 plus 3 is 7. So 2 less dice there. Roll. Okay. So I got 2 on the dice, and then 3 enhancement. So that's 5.
Excellent. That gives you a surplus of 2 successes. So are there any additional stunts you'd like to purchase or additional outcome you would like to spend those successes on?
Yeah, so I would like to create a stunt. So I'm just going to kind of narratively create a stunt that has these guys be so convinced in my, and that we are here to fix the server, that they will lead me to the server, and then leave us there.
Excellent. That is perfectly acceptable. The guard gets up and says, "Oh yeah, absolutely. The temperature down here is a nightmare. So I'm glad they're finally getting somebody to look at it. Right this way." And they
should have made a 7th sub-basement.
They walk up and type in a keypad access, place their hand for a handprint read, and give a retinal scan. Do any of you have medicine?
Hey, I'm a doctor.
Excellent.
Not.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a medicine roll with whatever you would like to pair that with for sort of just passively noticing something that would stick out to a doctor.
It's going to be I have instant diagnosis.
Sure. If you want to,
I'll still roll if you want.
if you want to rely on that, you can do so. It would be that's a skill trick, correct?
I believe so.
So,
Actually, it's a gift, isn't it?
It's a gift.
oh, it's a gift.
Yeah, it's just an auto gift. It's one of those freebies.
And it doesn't even cost you. Excellent. Yeah, you immediately notice that this person is not breathing. Like they're drawing breath before they talk, but they're not breathing.
Is it a robot?
Vampires.
Oh, that's right.
She's gonna lean over to the nearest person and go, vampires.
The door opens. They say, here's a server room. I'm not sure which one you want to mess with. I would highly recommend staying away from Sector C5. I know that the brass are very concerned about that. So just if you can avoid touching that, I would recommend doing so.
Is it going to shock me or?
I just think I heard them say something about it being sensitive equipment.
Well, I mean, I'm tech support. I know how to handle sensitive equipment. If it needs fixing, I'll fix it. Don't worry about us.
All right. Good luck. They say when you're ready to leave, just go ahead and punch in the exit code on the other side of the door. Exit code is 12345.
Oh man, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Same combination of my luggage.
Beat me to it. You beat me to it.
They go.